What do hip-hop and Taylor Swift have to do with the French Revolution? At UNT, my research involves music history, and specifically musical labor during the Age of Revolutions. Before 1789, music was essentially covered under printing rights, and so you could own the right to print music. You could also get patents to create musical instruments, but it wasn't music itself that was protected as a form of property. Composers started to get frustrated that it was other people like music sellers or arrangers who were actually making money off of their musical ideas. On the other hand, people argued that once a piece of music was out in public, it belonged to the public and they had any right to use it any way they wanted. Starting in 1789 with the French Revolution, there were a lot of concerns and debates about individual rights. And musicians got on board with this and said, we deserve the right to have control over the music that we make, and especially the money that's made off of it. At the same time, the nation, which was increasingly important to the French, said that music was still a public good and that it belonged to the country, that everyone should have access to it and enjoy it once it was created. In 1793, the French government passed the Declaration of Rights of Genius, and this is really one of the first laws in the history of the world that explicitly covers music as a form of property and as a form of intellectual property. This was really the beginning of the creation of groups of artists and musicians who would argue for their rights to the work that they put out into the world. And so when people were consuming music, they were paying for it, and they also had to recognize who it was that originally created it. Every time there is a political or social or legal or especially technological upheaval, we see changes in the way that people get access to music and the way people get paid for music. If you've listened to hip-hop or you've listened to Taylor Swift's version of her albums, then you've heard people sampling other people's music and you've heard people trying to take a claim to the music that they've created themselves. We experience music in public. It's in elevators, it's in supermarkets, and it's in your ears when you're listening with your earbuds. So if you're listening to Taylor's version in your earbuds, Taylor owns what's in your head. And she has the French Revolution to thank. Thanks for joining me in the lab. Check out the playlist in the description to see more videos from the lab. And hit that subscribe button.